Winnie the Pooh, you know his stories and what have you in the 100 Acre Wood with his friends and Christopher Robin. Well, you better brace yourselves, because this ain't no bedtime story, as I recently watched Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, which came out earlier this year in theaters and is now streaming on Peacock. But is it a bloody sweet treat for horror fans, or is this one not as sweet and gory as you think, or something like that? Find out in this special spoiler-free review right now. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a spoiler-free review of the 2023 British independent slasher flick Winnie-the-Pooh Blood and Honey, released by ITN Studios along with Jagged Edge Productions, directed by Rhys Frank Waterfield, who also co-produced with Scott Jeffrey. Waterfield also wrote and edited this film. It serves as a horror reimagining of the Winnie the Pooh books and stars Craig David Dowsett as the titular character and Chris Cordell as Piglet, with Amber Joy Thorne, Nikolai Leon, Maria Taylor, Natasha Rose Mills, and Danielle Ronald in supporting roles. It follows Pooh and Piglet, who have both become feral and bloodthirsty murderers, as they terrorize a group of young university women and Christopher Robin when he returns to the 100 Acre Wood many years after leaving for college. This film got distant but became an unexpected surprise. The success, making $5 million against its $100,000 budget. Now, years ago, a young Christopher Robin met and befriended a group of anthropomorphic creatures: owl, rabbit, Eeyore, piglet, and of course, Winnie the Pooh in the 100 Acre Wood. However, Christopher left after he entered college. Without him around to feed them, and with the arrival of winter, the creatures went into starvation. In order to survive, they settled on killing and eating Eeyore, which developed in them a hatred for humanity. They vow to return to their feral instincts and never speak again. 5 years later, Christopher, now an adult, returns to the 100 Acre Wood accompanied by his wife Mary, but finds the place in a desolate state. And they are ambushed by Piglet, who fatally strangles Mary. Pooh and Piglet then drag Christopher into the woods, showing him Eeyore's skeletal remains and burning Mary's corpse. Sometime later, a group of university students, they're girls, Maria, Jessica, Alice, Zoe, and Laura, rent a cabin in the 100 Acre Wood so one of them can overcome a traumatic stalking experience. Tina, another friend, gets lost en route, and Pooh grinds her up with a wood chipper. In his treehouse, Pooh, who has imprisoned Christopher, reminisces over their childhood and breaks down, brutally whipping him with Eeyore's tail and showering Christopher in Mary's blood. And one by one, Pooh and Piglet take out a lot of the girls and what have you. Yep. But that's all I'm going to give you of the story and what have you. I'm not, because this is a spoiler-free review. If I give you any more details, then it'll ruin everything. But seriously, so, it's just shocking and what have you. From what I've seen of the film's alright and what have you. Not really one of the best I've seen, but this is probably one of the most oddest and weirdest films I've seen and what have you. The film said a mere 3% Rotten Tomatoes, so yeah, this is kind of one of the worst films I've seen this year so far. Seriously. Now I feel like the Firestarter remake from last year ended up being one of the worst films I've seen last year. I'd rather watch it over this one, if you ask me. According to Rotten Tomatoes, they say, in the words of Pooh from the Disney World, "Oh bother," and nothing else. Well, IndieWire kind of gave us a lukewarm review, panning the film's screenplay, but felt that the film punches above its weight in the craftsmanship of its kills. Well, yes, I do agree. I agree. The kills weren't too bad and what have you. The AV Club offers similar criticism towards the cheap production values and a lack of a coherent story, while also knowing that the film fulfills its promise of a slasher film based on a beloved children's book. Yeah, definitely. Variety was highly critical on the film for its lack of humor, poor acting, and incoherent screenplay, summarizing that the film failed to meet even the most basic expectations set by its conceptual gimmick. I agree. And even Rue Morgue said the film lacked any sort of wit or imagination to successfully implement upon its premise. Definitely. Even a review from RogerEbert.com wrote that it failed as both a comedy and a horror film, knowing that the poorly lit scenes in the film made it hard to decipher what was happening on screen, while echoing our critics' sentiments on the writing and lack of interesting characters. Yes, I agree. Yeah, the characters were absolutely horrible. Nikolai Leon played Christopher Robin. Maria Taylor was Maria. Strange. Natasha Rose Mills played Jessica. Amber Joy Thorne played Alice. Danielle Rawl played Zoe. Natasha Tassini played Laura. May Kelly played Tina. Danielle Scott played Charlene. And Paula Coyce played Mary. Yeah, those a lot of those weren't people. I don't even know much about them, so the characters aren't that great. Well, except for Pooh and Piglet. I mean, Craig David Dowsett and Chris Cordell. Well, they were fine, what have you. Despite this, the the big surprise coming in the closing credits. Now, even though that's but I won't tell you what it is. It's not post credit scene, but it will be a surprise though. Now, this film's already did well to get a sequel and a shared universe that's currently in development. And well, and they confirmed that in the sequel, Al and Tigger will be joining the group. And they're saying that they're going to plan to release it early next year, so we'll see what happens. Now, aside from this, two other horror films were announced: Bambi: The Reckoning, which is based on Bambi: A Life in the Woods, and Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, which based on Peter and Wendy, will be released respectively. Now, Frank Waterfield announced that the various projects take place in the same shared continuity franchise, while Jagged Edge Productions intends to eventually have crossovers featuring the characters. He also expressed interest in making films about Thor, the Norse god of thunder, as well as copyrighted franchises such as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who just more recently had an animated film, and the Teletubbies, even. Can you believe that? We'll see what happens. Anyway, and also Andrew Scott Bell was the person that scored, and that was fine too. But overall, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, it's not that great. Characters aren't likable, and well, didn't get too much. Only had two characters we were familiar with of the Hundred Acre Wood, aside from their former human friend. So overall, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, it just was not my cup of. Just wasn't that great though. I did like the gore and the kills. Well, the gory kills though, yeah. Especially one involving run over one of the girls' head with a car. That was freaky. and what have you. So overall, it's not that great. This is now the worst film, and against the worst film I've seen this year. So anyway, I'm gonna give Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 stars. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 4. Yeah, sorry. But I think a lot of you will probably agree with me on that. So, what did you think of Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me again later tonight when I review Monster High 2. Now I hope this will be good and what have you. I did like the first one, even though I did that in a mini review, but you'll get a full spoiler-free review on the sequel. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, consider checking out my reviews for these other, well, films that were, well, how should I put it to you this way? Alright, what have you. Well, even though they're films I much rather watch or this. In the upper left-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of a recent slasher film, that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which came out on Netflix last year. Or go to the upper right hand corner and see my review for, well, actually see my, a re-review I did for one of my favorite guilty pleasures of a slasher flick, Freddy vs. Jason, which recently celebrated its 20th anniversary. Or if you want, see my review of one of the worst films I saw last year, and that would be the Firestarter remake from last year in 2022. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.